Good evening, everyone. It is once again Ted, the Speed Learner. How are you guys this evening? I hope you're all safe and well, and I hope you guys are ready for one tremendous little live stream tonight. If you guys now, I don't know how many of you guys are going to do this or not, but I know there's going to be some of you out there is going to ask me about what's been happening with the nightmares for the last week, and I'm just going to call them nightmares. That's all it is. There's a bunch of nightmares that have happened in the past week. That is not going to be discussed here tonight. Maybe at some point we might be able to discuss it, but not tonight. Not happening. I will give you a homework assignment, though. These are the works of one Josephus. Ever heard of him? If you have not heard of Josephus, I want you to go out and I want you to find this book. It's called The Complete Works of Josephus. His name is Flavius Josephus. You can actually find his works on the internet. But if you want to, you can pick up a hard copy like I did. This was kind of dirt cheap. It was not what I know they have this price up here, but that's not what I paid for it. So, I mean, when you get used, you get used. What can I say? But anyway, this particular copy was printed by William Whiston. You got to keep in mind that Josephus was originally written in Latin, and somebody then translated it in English. And this is an English translation of Josephus. Now, you say, well, why would I want to read this book? Well, you don't have to read the whole thing, okay? It's towards the back of this book where Josephus makes a reference to the Roman siege of Jerusalem back in 70 A.D. That's what I want you to read. That is your homework for tonight. So this is homework for you, and at some point we'll talk about it. It won't be talked about tonight because obviously you have not read it yet, but it will be discussed at some point. Anyway, you see the shirt I'm wearing. You say, well, wait a minute. Isn't that the shirt you always wear when you are videotaping parades and stuff like that? Yes, it is. But here's the problem. The problem is that there are no parades this year, and I have no way to videotape signs this year either. That's a done deal. Next year, well, that's exactly what we're going to do, but this year I can't. So there you go. Anyway, so what are we going to do tonight? Well, we're going to start this video with a response to me, and you'll have to bear with me for just a minute because I got to pull up the response. Here we go, and now we're going to go to here. If you are on here tonight, and I hope that some of you are, I would like for you to let me know over here in the chat over here. Let me know that you're here, who you are, so I know who I'm talking to, because I don't always know who I'm talking to. All right, now let me go ahead and pull this up. Hoping this is the right one. Yes, it is. Okay. All right, let me find the... All right.
Fake celebrity pranks, New York City. I actually watched this video.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Apparently, I am not the only one running a live stream tonight, so... Oh. Now, so let's start off with this. And I'm sorry it took me a little while there to find it, but anyway, we're going to start off with a person. Currently, their YouTube handle is Testicle, but originally their YouTube handle was Lily Oberson. I'm sorry, not Lily. Sorry, Lexi Oberson. Sorry about that. My fault. Correction. It was Lexi Oberson. Okay. And that's the person that originally replied to me. Now, what is this all about? Well, this is about a video that I uploaded, let's see, way back in 2012. Now, let me go through this for you, okay? I uploaded this video in 2012. It is now 2020. Now, think about this for a second. This video is 8 years old, approximately. Okay, so it took them 8 years to actually respond to this. It's like, okay, I wonder even how they found this. I don't know who this person is or how this person actually found me. But that's how it goes. Anyway, so what was the title of my video? The title of my video was Fake Celebrity Pranks New York City. Now, I've had several responses to this thing since 2012. Most of which I just replied either in video responses or flat out just left them a comment, and that was that. But it's been a long time since I've gotten a response on this particular video. And like I said, the person that was responding to me, their original name was Lexi Oberson. Okay, now it's Testicle. Doesn't matter either way. So, all right, so what did this person reply to me after watching my video? And apparently this person watched the whole thing, not just part of it, which is kind of good because at least they actually took the time to hear everything I had to say rather than some of the people that have replied to me over the years where they just watched like a minute or two and had no idea who I was. Okay, so thanks for the watch time, Lexi. Anyway, so, what was the reply? This is a male version of a Karen. Well, I do have to grant a couple of things. At least this person actually took the time to spell check and grammar check. A lot of the time I get these responses and they neither spell check nor... Okay, we got a person here named Rob. Howdy, Ted. Well, hello. We got 3 people in here right now. Please let me know who you are as I continue this live stream because I will have absolutely no idea who you are unless you say so. All right. But anyway, let's go back over here. Back to Lexi Oberson. I do have to give this person a credit. Like I was saying, spell check, grammar check. A lot better than what I usually get. I usually get something that's poorly spelled, poorly grammared. And at this point, I'm sitting here going, you really actually took the time to watch me and then left me that kind of a comment? Really? Goodbye. We don't even mess with those. Happy unemployment. That's the way I deal with that. So I do have to this person's credit, at least their grammar check, their spell check. So yes, I give them credit for that. Now, let's see here. Like I said, we got 3 people in here now, so I'm going to keep kind of checking back and forth to see who happens to show up and reply to them if I can. Anyway, so now I checked out Lexi Oberson's YouTube channel. From the last time I checked, that person had exactly 4 subscribers and no video content whatsoever. So outside of the fact that this person appears to be pretty literate, which is a step up from what I usually get, I know so little about this person. However, this person should have known a lot more about me. One of the things, if you're going to debate somebody, if you're actually going to give feedback, get to know the person you're giving feedback to. Now, yes, you did watch my entire video, which I have to give you credit for that, but you fall into the same trap as Jeff Bliss. Okay, and I did a whole thing on Jeff Bliss. If you had looked up Jeff Bliss, you would have found out about high school packets, Roman forums, and honor challenges. Had you done that, you would have known a little more about how I debate anything. Okay? And you would have augmented your observation skills. And if you had done even more research, you would have learned what kind of a channel this actually is. I mean, my credentials are straightforward. You know I know accounting. You know I know computer tech. You know I know high-end mathematics. You know how I now speak and read and write Italian, that I do know etymology. You know I know all this and a lot more. I don't know what your credentials are, but you know mine. All I can say of you is you're literate. It's like I said, it's a little improvement over the ones that I usually get. And that's why I decided to go ahead and make a video response, because a lot of times I'm like, I don't even bother with this. You're unemployed. Bye. See ya. But this one required a little bit more in-depthness. So anyway, so the first thing I decided to do was to see just how smart this person really actually was. And the first thing I did was I said, first, my name isn't Karen. Obviously, that's true. Second, the only Karen I know is a very nice lady. And she is. She became a friend of mine when I was working at a grocery store a long time ago. And then I asked this person if they were married to a Karen or if they were friends with someone named Karen, etc., etc. The person replies back. Okay. This person says, no, just look it up on the internet. First thing is they failed to answer any of my questions, except to say no. You wouldn't understand. Really, somebody that knows accounting, computer tech, how to speak, read, and write Italian, all this other stuff would not understand what a Karen is. Yeah, I could understand it if I knew if I had known at the time exactly what it was. I went ahead and honored this person. I'll show you that later on, but I actually looked this up. All right. It says it's been pretty popular for a while. It's just a joke, and his videos are really, really good. That's why they get millions of views, and they attract a larger variety of all different types of people and ages. All right. Well, here's my first thoughts on this. Okay, yes, I will grant you that was a very humorous video that I reviewed. Fake celebrity pranks, New York City. If you watch it, you're going to get a laugh out of it. It's not the kind of laugh you should get. All right, there's a bit about slapstick comedy and you can actually make snarky remarks and that kind of stuff, and that does get laughs. But this is a different type of humor that isn't so good, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But anyway, so I replied again to this person, and I said, I looked it up now, and I comprehend what you're saying perfectly, which is basically this person was calling me an elitist. And I don't appreciate being called an elitist. I mean, good grief. If you're going to make a successful argument, don't start by insulting the person you're arguing with. First, state your point. Then later on, if you decide to insult the person, you can insult the person later. But do give a definitive argument. Okay. I said that, number one, I don't feel entitled to anything. That's what an elitist does. An elitist feels that they're entitled to something. Well, I'm this, so I'm entitled. Let me tell you something. All I'm entitled to is a little bit of honor because I've actually accomplished all the things that I've done. And a little bit of courtesy because I am an intelligent person. You should show me a certain level of courtesy. But beyond that, no, I don't feel entitled to anything. I've earned everything I have possessed. Okay, I have never been in debt. Everything you see in here is owned by me. And That's about it on that. Anyway, let's go on here. So I said strike one to you, to this Lexi Oberson. Bye. And then I said, this is kind of a dangerous joke. And I'm referring to the fake New York pranks thing. And I'll explain that in just a minute. And I did tell this person, I said, if you don't understand why this would be considered a dangerous joke, then you should look up the milk carton photos of the 1970s. Let me know if you can figure this one out. Now, again, this is kind of testing to see if this person will actually take the time to research whatever and see if their observation skills are good. Well, apparently they're a little better than I thought. So, what does Lexi Oberson actually say back to me? And it's interesting because Lexi Oberson actually switched her, and it must be a female because Lexi would just imply a female there. See how my observation skills are working right here? So they switched their YouTube handle from Lexi Oberson to Testicle. Why that was done, I do not know. But anyway, let's go on here. So you can see I've observed that too. So what does Lexi say also? She says, speed learner, I don't think you know what it means at all, actually, because what you are saying is something totally different. It's not something off of a milk carton from the 1970s, first of all. Now, I was not saying that the fake New York pranks, okay, what I was not saying, let me back up on this. I was not saying that the reference to a Karen had anything to do with the milk cartons. I was saying that what you saw as a, quote, joke in the fake New York pranks video had a reference to the milk cartons of the 1970s. And she says, and second of all, it is a harmless joke that you clearly don't understand. I do understand. That's the whole thing. I do understand. It's you who does not understand. And I really would rather you use the word comprehend than understand because it makes you sound more intelligent. But in this case, you didn't, and you made a bad connection. I was not connecting the milk cartons to Karen. I was connecting the milk cartons to fake New York pranks. Whatever. Okay. And then this person says, now bye-bye. You don't just suddenly walk out of an argument thinking you've won. That don't work that way. What you actually do, you present a solid case, and then I respond back. And whoever has the better argument actually wins the argument. This is an honor challenge. This is a Roman honor challenge. If you don't believe me, you can actually look this up. I have an actual video about Roman honor challenges and Roman forums. You can look that up for yourself and watch it to your heart's content. So finally, I respond back to Lexi Oberson. And I said, not so fast. I will profile your comments on my next live stream, which I am doing now. Remember, you came to my video. I did not listen. If you had not responded to me in the first place, this conversation wouldn't be taking place. Period. I didn't reply to any of your videos because you don't have any. So I was hoping this person would stop by and check out what I say. So the person says, okay, boomer. If you're thinking I'm a baby boomer, you're absolutely wrong. I'm not that old. And then I don't know whether it was yesterday or the day before, the person wrote back, still waiting for you to profile my comments. I'm looking forward to the vid. Well, here it is. Now, what does any of this have to do with the fake New York City prank? That's what I'm trying to say. What does that anything have to do with this? This is about logic and observation skills. Okay, it sounds like you are policing jokes. Either all jokes are okay or no jokes are okay. That's how free speech works. Okay, I'm not saying that the person couldn't put this up. I am saying to the people who are watching this, who watched that fake New York prank thing, that what they were seeing was a very dangerous thing, and I'll explain why in just a minute. So let me present my case. You can present whatever you want, but the person watching it should be observant to what's really going on. All right? So, what's the problem with fake New York pranks? Well, fine. Hang on. Okay. Anyway, so what was the problem with the original fake New York pranks video? Okay. This had to do with something called a lemming. Now, I am not referring to the animal known as a lemming. I am referring to the video game known as the lemming. Have you ever seen the Lemmings video game? If you have not, I want you to go ahead and research that and see for yourself what I'm discussing here, because it'll make a whole lot more sense when you actually do this. Okay. When these people walked up to this so-called celebrity, they never once asked the celebrity his name, what work he did. They did not formally recognize him because he had never been on anything, so on and so forth. They blindly walked up to him, assumed he was a celebrity, and then had selfies taken with the guy, and on top of that, had him sign autographs. They had no idea who this person was. Okay? And that's the danger. These people clearly demonstrated they had a lack of observation skills, and they had no logic and reasoning whatsoever, because if they had logical reasoning and good observation skills, they would have asked this guy a few questions before taking a selfie and having an autograph. They didn't do either one. Now, what's the danger in something like that? Well, it wasn't like that these people were in danger in that particular video, okay? But the real danger comes in when you start, let me reference this for you. And I'm going to go ahead and put a link down here so you can see this for yourself. Hold on. There. I want you to read that little link. And you say, well, okay. Now, I'm just going to make a few brief comments on this. This is going to involve somebody by the name of Victoria Grabowski. Grabowski, okay? She was on an online chat or something like that. I don't remember the exact details on this. But anyway, she had been talking to somebody that she had never met personally on the internet. She assumed that the person was what he said he was. And she actually went to the effort of collecting money to fly all the way from the United States to England to meet this guy. Well, thankfully, they found her and they brought her back to the States, where her parents, I hope, did something to discourage her from doing that again. But she thought she knew the guy. Whether he was exactly what he claimed to be is a different story. And I see this all the time. And I know there are people out there that when they hear stories like this, one of the first things that comes to their minds is the story of Natalie Holloway. I don't know that Natalie Holloway was as gullible as Victoria Grabowski. We may never know the answer to that, but that's not the point. The point is that there are a lot of people out there, just like Victoria Grabowski, who either assume they know what they're dealing with or have absolutely no clue as to what they're dealing with, and they'll get involved with people that they don't know very well or think they know but really don't, and that's when the danger begins. Fortunately, in the case of Victoria Grabowski, it did turn out pretty good. It doesn't always turn out that good, and that was the point I was trying to make in my response to the fake New York prank. Okay? That was my whole point. Now do you understand? And if I lost a couple people because of that, well, too bad. But that was the point I was trying to make in my original video. And I think if you guys understand that, you'll see why I had an objection to this material. Okay? I am trying to teach you guys on this YouTube channel to, one, have good observation skills, two, to have good logic, and mainly just think things through before you do them. Okay? Right now, which is very important, what I want you guys to start thinking about is the future of your jobs. A lot of people this past week woke up, went to their job, only to find it wasn't there anymore. If you don't believe me, all you have to do is watch the news. You can see it for yourself. They actually went to their job, and there wasn't one. Now what do they do? Now what do they do? That's why I want you people here. That's why I want you to learn. And that's what this is all about. So, now you can see what my objection is. And it's not whether we allow somebody to put a video up there. If they want to put a video up there, that's fine. But I am saying I'm objecting to what I saw based on that information. No one should ever walk up to somebody they don't know at all. Whether they look like a celebrity or they act like a celebrity, know who you're dealing with. Because if you don't, you could end up like Victoria Grabowski or somebody else that just disappears off the face of the earth and never seen again. You never know what you're going to get yourself into, and believe me, it can be bad. I'm often, well, I was reminded of another story, but I'm not going to share it with you tonight. Not a good story to share tonight. But anyway, eventually I might share that one too, but we'll go into that on another night and carry on from there. But do you now comprehend what I'm trying to tell you, people? That's why I objected to that particular video. Anybody can put up whatever they want, but I can also critique it here. And I can say, for you people, if you want to get a good chuckle out of it, go right ahead. But understand something, that is not appropriate behavior, especially from people that learn from me. If you see somebody on the street and they look like... How do you feel about Count Dracula and the Nazi plug video? Never heard... Count Dankula and the Nazi plug video. Never heard of it. So I can't give you an opinion if I have never heard of that. So I'll have to do some research on that, and as soon as I do, I will let you know. But like I said, you can post up anything you like. It's just that my students, I want them to be more observant. I want them to be more logical. This will keep them safer and better off, especially in the job market that we're in right now. Let me tell you something. It doesn't have to be a personal harm to yourself. It does not have to be that way. Okay, it could be an economic harm. You go into a job, you think you're gonna get this particular income for doing this particular work, and you find out later the work is a lot different than you thought it was going to be, and the income you're making off of it wasn't quite what you thought it was going to be. You can get duped rather easily, so you can suffer economic hardships over this. Okay, so being more observant, being more logical, you'll be better off both financially and for your personal self as well. Besides, you really want to get socially involved with somebody for a permanent relationship, and we're talking about a very personal type relationship, type like marriage type relationship. Do you want to get into something like that without knowing the person really well first? Think about it. Anyway, that is my response. So that's what I want you students to do. I want you to become more observant, more logical, make better decisions based on the new information you have now been provided. And that's what happens when you learn accounting, computer tech, high-end math, and how to speak, read, write Italian. What does speaking, reading, and writing Italian do for you? It allows you to read books that you would not be reading otherwise, and learning stuff you would not be learning otherwise. That's what it does. If you want to know more, ask me. But at least one thing you do know for sure, you know who you're dealing with here. And that's probably one of the most important things of all. You know who you're dealing with here. And that's important. Okay. So, I promised you guys a couple of videos tonight, and that's exactly what I'm going to give you guys tonight. I have notes for both of them. I'm going to go ahead and get off of that one. I would like to see Lexi Oberson give a proper response to my critique of fake New York pranks. Let's see if she can do that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and go into some new videos. Aha. All right. Before I do, I got to go get the book that I need. There we go. That's better. Okay. Now then. Who remembers my last live stream? Who remembers it? Do you remember I was dealing with Math Doesn't Suck? And you remember I had to stop midway through because I made a big mistake? Well, the mistake I made was not taking you guys one more step down to try to explain a particular concept to you. And so therefore, I screwed up. Now, if you'll give me just 1 minute, I will be right back. Stay here. I won't be, but a couple of seconds, I'll be right back. So hang in there, folks. I bet you guys were wondering, I needed this. You say, well, why do you need that? Oh, we'll get to that in just a second. There we go. All set and ready to go. Yay. We got a second person in here. Whoever you are, hello, hello, hello. I'm glad you're here. Let me know who you are, and we'll get on with this. All right. Oh, that's pretty messed up. I'll throw that one away. Let's take that one. Yay! Okay. I don't want to look tipsy here. Oh, son. Okay. Here we go. I'm now going to continue my review Sometimes I just want to get it just right. I'm now getting tense here. One more time. Here we go. I'm now going to continue my review of Danica McKellar's Math Doesn't Suck book, this one right here, with the following. All right, addressing Danica McKellar here, I have to say you start your conversation with disorganized jewelry. As a trained COBOL programmer, and in case you don't know, COBOL, it was a very early computer language. It actually stood, it's an acronym, by the way. It actually stood for the Common Business Oriented Language. As a trained COBOL programmer, I always stress organization. I realize how much time organizing your valuables can be, but if things are organized, they are easier to find and are less likely to be damaged. I will admit that complex fractions can be difficult to calculate. So let's start with the fraction 1/8 divided by 2/4. Okay. Now I'm going to do a lot of writing here, so bear with me. Ugh. All right, now I am running a live stream right now, and that's why everything looks like it's at an angle here. But I have my laptop just to the left of me. I know it looks to you like it's just to the right, but it actually is just to the left of the camera here. Right now I'm using a Kodak Easy Share to videotape this. But anyway, this will look correct here on the Kodak Easy Share. It will not look correct on my webcam during my live stream. But anyway, it says 1/8 divided by 2/4, which is a fraction right here. It's a complex fraction. Okay. Now then, of course, you would start by organizing the denominator of this fraction. But before I proceed further, I have to prove that multiplying by a reciprocal number can be done. So let's pause this math problem for just a moment to justify using reciprocal multiplication. And I think that's something you should have explained in your book, but that's just a recommendation. Anyway, so What is reciprocal multiplication? Okay, we're going to use the following math problem. 1/2 divided by 1/4. 1/2 divided by 1/4. So what is this math problem saying? It's actually asking the following question. How many 1/4 are in the fraction 1/2? Well, the answer to that is very, very simple. If you add the add-ins 1/4 and 1/4, that's right. If you have an addition problem, the two things you're adding are called add-ins, and the answer you get is called a sum. Okay, so if you add the add-ins 1/4 and 1/4 together, you will get 2/4 or 1/2. Simply put, you have two 1/4 in this 1/2. That's what the math problem is actually saying. So you go 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 1/2, like thus. All right. Okay. Let's go on here. So how would someone like me use reciprocal multiplication to solve the math problem 1/2 divided by 1/4? Okay, so how would we use reciprocal multiplication to solve this? All right, so what you would do is you would multiply 1/2 by 4. So instead of having 1/2 divided by 1/4, you'd have 1/2 multiplied by 4. Like this. Okay. What is this math problem actually saying? Well, before I tell you that, let's look at another multiplication problem so you can... Some people that I deal with are not as bright as others, and you have to really kind of bring it down like 5 levels before they finally get it. If you send them on what I call what I would consider a linear progression. I know that's an official math term, but it's linear reasoning for me. Okay, and this is how I have to explain it to them. All right, so let's multiply 2 by 4. Well, that would be 8. Well, what if we added 2 plus 2 plus, whoops. We still get 8. All right. So you have 4 2s in 8, basically. That's how that works. So let's compare what I just said about 2 times 4 with 1/2 times 4. Okay. So obviously the answer is going to be 2. All right. We can also say that if you add 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2, you also get 2. Half plus a half is 1. Half plus a half is another 1. And 1 plus 1, of course, is 2. So there are 4 1/2s in 2. And that's how that works. So let's return to our original equation so we can see that all that actually works. And like I said, bringing the equations down a little bit so they can see it the way it's supposed to be can give them an idea how to step up and learn something else. Okay? So, what is 1/8? Whoops. One eighth divided by 2/4. Well, we can simplify the denominator right here. Okay. So 2/4 is actually 1/2. Okay. Using reciprocal multiplication, the problem changes into 1/8 multiplied by 2. Get rid of that line. All right. If you have 1/8 times 2/1, what you're going to have is 2/8, or otherwise 1/4. And if you add, hold on, 1/8 plus 1/8, because you got 2 1/8 in 1/4. So basically all this checks out. Getting the idea here? And that's a good way to explain everything. I know it's a slow way to explain everything, but you want to explain things to some of these students very, very slowly, because if you don't, they may not catch it the first time. Now then, let's discuss mean and extreme kids. Okay? Now, I'm going to help people remember both. Mean kids are people who tease innocent victims. Extreme kids are risk takers. So let's use the 1/8 divided by 1/2 math problem to illustrate the mean and extreme kids. Okay. So let's go back. Let's go back to our original math problem, like here. All right. Now then, mean kids huddle together while extreme kids jump over them and slide under them. So here's the mean kids right here, the 8 right here, and the 1 right here. And then the extreme kids are these. You see how the mean kids huddle together while the extreme kids are jumping over the mean kids and sliding under the mean kids? There you go. Okay. Now then, let's multiply the extreme kids first. Okay. What is 1 times 2? Well, that's going to be 2. Okay. Now let's multiply the mean kids. What is 1 times 8? Well, that's going to be 8. So we got both results right there. So the extreme kids are above here. The mean kids are below them, as they should be. And now you have a fraction 2/8 or 1/4. That's a good way to illustrate things. As you can plainly see, we got the same result. Oh, boy. Okay. All right. So personally, I think that students can relate to this better than they can to a severe thunderstorm. I mean, yes, there are lots of severe thunderstorms, but unless you live in the Midwest where you're getting some of the most severe, and we ended up with some pretty bad storms this past week. but nothing compared to some of the stuff they've had in the last few. Now, I will say that if I recall correctly, it was late April or early May, probably early May, when we actually had a tornado around here. That is not a joke. It didn't exactly hit where I was, but it was pretty close. All right. So, unless you've lived through something like that, yeah. Anyway, I mean, what about people that live in the desert? So, anyway. All right. The next part of this lesson that you had in your book was about a more complex mathematical problem. So let's cover ourselves with just a little more mud. All right. So now we have 1/8. Hang on. Plus 1/4 equaling. Oh, not equaling. Sorry. Divided by 3 plus 1. Whoops. Oopsie. All right, so now here's your new math problem. 1/8 plus 1/4 divided by 3 plus 1/16. How are you going to solve all that? All right. Obviously, we can multiply the fraction 1/4 by 2/2 to get a better numerator. Well, if we multiply like that, what we actually get is that 2/8. And 2/8 plus 1/8 is actually going to equal 3/8. And you still got the bottom part to deal with. So far, so good. Now, let's multiply the 3 over here by 16/16. Okay, so let's erase all this. We now have 3/8 divided by 3 plus, let's erase this, times. Okay. Now, if we multiply this together, what we're going to get is actually, and we can do this by calculator. Most people do it these days, or even by their computer, that is. So we're actually going to, in my day, it was calculator. Now it's computer. But now we get, that doesn't look too good. Let's try that again. We get 48/16 plus 1/16, which of course leads to 49/16. So now we got there you go. Okay. Then you recommend canceling factors without proving that a student can cancel not fractions, factors. So I will take the time to prove factor cancellation. Let's start with the following math problem. Okay. I'm going to forget about this for a minute. Now we're going to go with a new problem here. 2/3 times 4/16. So, what happens if you multiply this all the way through? Well, what you'll get is 8/48. That's what you're going to get. Okay. Can you do the same thing by canceling factors? Well, let's find out. Okay. 16 divided by 2 is 8. Well, here's your 2 up here. And here's your 16 by right here. If we do that canceling factors thing, what we're actually going to end up with, and here we're going to write it down. We're actually going to add what we're going to find out here is that we got a fraction of 1/3 times 4/8. Just like that. All right. Well, that's simpler to solve. Well, we can solve this a little bit more. Now we got a fraction of 1/3 and 1/2. See that? Well, 1/3 times 1/2, of course, is going to be 1/6. No further proof needed on that. Okay. Now let's go to the original problem that we had. Now we got a bit sidetracked. Of 3/8 divided by 49/16. Okay. Now then, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, so now like that. Now, 16 divided by 8 is 2. So now you have a 1 over here and a 2 over there. So now we have the problem 3 times 2 and 1 times 49. Well, 3 times 2 is 6, and 49 times 1 is 49. So this leaves us with 6/49. Okay, and we could actually reduce this a little bit further if we wanted to. I mean, I'm not going to do it here, but we could reduce this. It'd be a little time consuming, but we could actually do it. But we'll stop that right there. Now, at this point, that should have been the end of your. That should have been the end of that particular chapter of your book, but it wasn't. Instead, you decided to confuse your students further by discussing order of equations. And what do you use as a mnemonic device? And for those of you who do not know what a mnemonic device is, ask me and I'll tell you. Okay? You take your students to the Arctic Circle. Talk about cold shoulder. Woo. All right. Now, normally, my students would follow Harry Lorraine's memory techniques when it comes to acronyms. but I will use a similar idea to help students, at least my students, remember this acronym. First, my students should imagine getting a perm at a beauty shop. Okay. That's a much warmer way to remember this. And I would have them imagine a lady getting the perm, and if you imagine this lady getting that perm, she's wearing a sweater full of dags. Now, what the heck is a dag? All right. Now, if you don't know what a dag is, I want you to research it because it has something to do with sheep. Okay, and that's why I referred to the sweater. Okay, if you look up the word D-A-G, you'll see that it refers to sheep. Okay. All right, so what does this acronym actually stand for? Well, it means that, first of all, you calculate in any math problem, you calculate anything in an equation that is in parentheses before you calculate anything else. Okay, so if you have, let me show you this. So if you have an equation like this, you would take that and you have 6 plus 4, which would equal 10. Okay, that's what you'd have. You'd multiply the 3 times 2 first, which would give you the 6, and then 6 plus 4 would actually be 10. So whenever you see a parentheses, that gets the highest priority in a math equation. All right. Then you simplify any exponents, if it's possible to simplify those exponents. Then you multiply and divide numbers in the equation before you add and subtract any remaining numbers. So what do I mean by this? Okay. Let's say you have that equation. What are you going to do first? Well, 5 squared is 25 times 3 plus 2. Well, 25 times 3 is 75 plus 2 equals 77. And that's how that works. You're simplifying the exponent, then you're multiplying these two numbers together, and then you add afterwards. And that is why I used that particular acronym. Okay. Finally, you apply this order of equations to complex fractions. Well, I could have told them that. I feel you should have devoted a separate chapter of your book to the order of equations before composing your complex fraction chapter. I feel that many students would become quickly confused if they saw it any other way. And then, after all that was done, you finished the chapter with an unrelated quiz. Well, that's fun, but what does that have to do with what we were talking about in the first place? I would have presented this quiz in a later chapter of your book, and perhaps presented this quiz at the beginning of the book. If students can't focus properly on complex fractions, it's unlikely they'll be able to perform simple arithmetic. And that is my critique of that particular chapter of your book. I want to thank you very much for sticking with me and watching this presentation. And I look forward to reviewing another chapter of your book very, very soon. In the meantime, you have yourself a wonderful evening, and I will tell you more in my next video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Whoa. Okay. Sorry. Okay. All right. Well, what were my replies after this? It says, "You're tipsy. What are you drinking, mate?" I'm not drinking anything. Then we had Jordan Long. "Good asking my teacher. Tailcraft is hard for me. Mean kids, almost kids. And I do this on my hand reckoner." Okay. All right. So, do we have one more video to go? Absolutely, we do. There is one person who has been looking forward to this particular video, and that would be Survival on a Budget Made Easy. And I'm going to go ahead and read the audio part to you guys tonight, and then I'm going to put the photos with the audio. You saw that in my Navigating My YouTube Channel 2020 Desktop Edition. You also saw that in my Navigating My YouTube Channel 2020 Smartphone Edition. And now you're going to have Navigating My YouTube Channel 2020 Television Edition. I promise you guys I do this, and here we go. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ted the Speed Learner, and this is the home of the Looking for Lincoln Wayside Markers. That would be the Looking for Lincoln Heritage Coalition. Oh boy, I messed that up. Let's try that again, shall we? What? Oh, that was even worse. I was doing pretty good there for a second. All right. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ted the Speed Learner. Yeah, you can tell I'm really doing well tonight. Okay, let's try that again. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ted the Speed Learner, and this is the home of the Looking... One more time. Oh, well, I thank you guys, whoever's sticking around, for watching all this. You're like, oh man, he's having a rough time tonight. No, not really, but thanks for all the support here. All right, here we go again. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ted the Speed Learner, and this is the home of the Looking for Lincoln Heritage Coalition Wayside Markers, the Video Response Wars, and hundreds of educational videos which will help people facing eviction, starvation, and bullyism. Now, if you're wondering why my camera is at an angle right now, I'm running a live stream, and I'm taping this on my Kodak Easy Share, but I have my laptop, which is to the left of me. I know it doesn't look like it's to the left of me, but it actually is. And I'm reading the notes from my not my desktop, but my laptop, while I'm recording with the Kodak Easy Share. So that's why you see this like this. Okay, so let's go on here. On this channel, you will also find video footage of several razzle-dazzle good time parades from other Central Illinois festivals, the Macon County Relay for Life events, and so much more. This is one of 3 YouTube channels I've created in the past 11 years. The links to those channels can be found in the description box of this particular video. I also have a Facebook and Instagram fan page, and I have a Twitter account. The links to all of these accounts can be found in the description box of this particular video. If you want to check out my Patreon page, feel free to do so. The link to that page can also be found in the description box below. Now, here's the thing. This is one of 3 videos that I have created for you guys to help. Well, it's to help you find the videos you want to see from me. Okay. And so you say, okay, where are the other 2? I'm going to put links to all of the other 2 videos right down here in the description box. In the description below. Okay. So you'll be able to find those whenever you need to. So here's the main question. How can you watch my videos on your Roku, your Amazon Fire Stick, or your Xfinity Flex, or even whatever Apple holds? I know Apple has a device, and you can hook that up to your TV as well. Okay. How can you watch my videos on any of those devices? Okay. First, find the YouTube app on your streaming device and go ahead and highlight it, and then use your remote. And I'm going to go ahead and show you this because I actually do have a Roku. And here it is, folks. There's my Roku device. You can actually click the OK once you have highlighted the YouTube app. Okay. And you're going to use these navigation arrows to navigate the highlight, which will usually be in white if you're talking about Roku. Okay. And you navigate that highlight to the YouTube app and then click OK. Okay, you're going to be actually using these navigation arrows and this OK button to pick whatever you're trying to pick, even when you go into the YouTube app. Okay. If you're clicking the YouTube app for the first time, it may ask you to log in to YouTube. Just follow the directions on the screen to log yourself into YouTube. If you saved your login information on your streaming device, YouTube may ask you if you want to continue with your login information or if you want to watch YouTube or any of the videos on YouTube as a guest. You can see what I'm talking about right now on this particular video. Okay, so look at the screen. You'll see it for yourself. Whether you log in as yourself or you log in as a guest, you will see a list of icons on the left side of the television screen. Now, I'm going to stop right there for just a second. All right, now I've done this 100 times, but I'm going to do it again because I know that there are people, and these would be older type people, and they don't really know the directions as well as they think they do. And you kind of have to help them out on this. All right. This is the upper left. This is the lower left. This is the upper right. And this is the lower right. Okay. Now that we got all that squared away, now you say, well, why would we have to show anybody any of this stuff? Well, the main reason you'd have to show them this stuff is because, number one, they may not be able to successfully navigate on the Roku, and they may go to kiosks, store kiosks, and not know how to navigate properly there either. And if you ever take an elderly person to a kiosk, you're going to see just how much I'm talking about. All right. Okay, now, obviously, even though you see those icons on the left, okay, you will also see a whole bunch of YouTube videos on the right. Now, I'm not doing this because this is an easy share. I'm not giving the directions properly. The icons would be over here. The actual videos themselves would be over here. Okay. Now, the videos that you'll see on the right of the screen are videos that YouTube is going to recommend to you. Okay. This is the videos they think you want to watch. Okay. So let's go ahead and focus on the icons on the left side of the screen. The first icon I will focus on is the house with the red line underneath it. This red line is indicating that you are on the main YouTube screen. Well, it's the YouTube app. Okay, this is the main screen of the YouTube app. Okay, on the right side of the screen, you will see videos that YouTube is recommending to you. One of those videos is going to be highlighted in white. Okay, that means that they're assuming you're going to pick that particular video. You may not. But anyway, let's go on. If you click the left arrow on your remote, remember those navigation arrows? If you click the left arrow on your remote, the white highlight will move to the home icon. If you click the up arrow on your remote, you will highlight the magnifying glass, which is also known as the search icon. Okay. The screen you're seeing now is the screen you would use to find my YouTube channel. At this point, you would use your navigation arrow keys on your remote to spell out the name Speed Learner. Okay. You'll see that all 26 letters of the alphabet are now on the right side of your screen. Okay. And so what you're going to do is once you navigate to the magnifying glass or otherwise search, and you click the OK button, then you can navigate to the right and you will actually spell out my name by clicking every one of the letters. You highlight S, you click that, and then you highlight the word P, and you click that. And what I'm saying is you use the remote, and you click OK. Okay, you use the navigation arrows to move from letter to letter, and then you would use the OK to actually click those letters. And you would start spelling out my name. Now, at a certain point, YouTube should recognize what you're trying to spell out and say, okay, that's what you're trying to spell out. If they do, all you have to do is highlight to the name Speed Learner and just click OK, and boom, you'll go to my channel. All right. Otherwise, you may have to spell out my whole name. If you do, make sure you do not put a space between the word speed and learner, because if you do, you may not find me. Okay? All right. Now, if you spell out my whole name and it doesn't pop up on the left side of the screen, then once you spelled it out completely, just hit that search. You would highlight the search button and click the OK button, and then it would finally take you to my Speed Learner main channel page. Okay. Now, above the magnifying glass, which is the search icon, you should see your YouTube handle. Okay. You'll have your YouTube handle, your YouTube icon, so on and so forth. If you highlight that, you can actually log out of your account. All right. At this point, I will briefly go through most of the rest of the icons on the left side of your television screen. If you highlight the musical note icon, YouTube will recommend music videos to you. If you highlight the gaming icon, YouTube will recommend video game videos to you. This is stuff where content creators have videotaped their video game footage. Okay, they play video games and they record what they're playing while they're playing it, and then they upload that to YouTube, and you can watch those what they call Let's Plays, and you would watch their Let's Plays on YouTube. Okay. If you highlight the news icon, YouTube will recommend news-related videos to you. They'll show you video clips that CNN has posted, or NBC has posted, or Fox News has posted. You'll see all those right up there. Okay. If you highlight the movies icon, YouTube will recommend premium movies that you can buy, and you'll be able to watch them right there. You can purchase these movies and watch them anytime you want. If you highlight the subscriptions icon, you will see a list of videos that have been recently uploaded by YouTube content creators you subscribe to. Okay. So if you have subscribed to me and you click the subscriptions icon, you may see my videos up there. If you have subscribed to Survival on a Budget Made Easy and you click the subscriptions icon, you would see videos that Survival on a Budget Made Easy has posted. These would be videos that they have recently posted, etc., etc., etc. All right. If you highlight the library icon, you will see a list of videos that you have uploaded to YouTube. Not what I've uploaded, what you have uploaded. So what would happen if you highlighted the settings icon? Well, a sub-menu appears. If you highlight the word sounds, you can switch the YouTube app sound effects on and off. Not that they have great sound effects, but you can turn them on and off. If you highlight the word autoplay, you can switch the YouTube app's autoplay feature on and off. If the autoplay feature is turned on, a video YouTube recommends to you will start playing immediately after the video you're currently watching stops. So in other words, if you've got the autoplay feature on, then after you stop watching this particular video, what would happen is that another one of my videos would start playing, whatever YouTube thought you might want to watch. So you may end up, after watching this particular video, you would be most likely watching another one of my navigating videos. There you go. When you highlight the words music previews, you may be confused at the choice you're being provided. Let me explain that one. When you highlight the music icon, YouTube will recommend music videos to you. When you highlight those videos, YouTube will start playing a clip of those videos so you can see what you're going to be listening to. Okay. If you turn off this music previews feature off, then when you highlight those videos, they won't play automatically. Okay. If you highlight the words restricted mode, you may be confused by the choice you're being provided. Once again, if the option is not activated, you'll find any video you want. But if that option is activated, YouTube will decide what videos are safe for you to watch. Now, this would be good for kids, but for you, that's a different story. Now, I'm not exactly sure what would happen if you highlight and click the link with Wi-Fi option. If anybody knows what that's all about, please let me know in the comments below. Okay. If you highlight the word language, you can control the language the YouTube app appears to you. Okay. You remember all those icons you saw on the left side of the screen, and one says music, one says gaming, so on and so forth. Well, those all appear in English. However, if you click a different language, you'll see them in a different language. If you click Spanish, you would see probably, well, if you clicked Italian, let's just say you clicked Italian, you see Musica and whatever the gaming one is, and you would probably see Periodico for news, so on and so forth. You get the idea. Okay. I might play around with that one of these days just to see what I come up with. But anyway, you kind of get it. All right. If you highlight the word location, YouTube will adjust what videos it recommends to you based on where you live. If you live in the United States, then what YouTube would do is it would recommend videos that were uploaded by content creators here in the United States. If you said Spain, it would probably recommend videos that content creators in Spain have uploaded, etc., etc. Now, you can also clear your watch and search history on the YouTube app. Okay, now what is watch history? These are videos that you have already watched that YouTube kind of saves in a playlist, and you can go back and see those videos again if you want. Now, what the search one would be is, say you were searching for a particular video, they would save your search results, and you can find those things again if you wanted to. Okay. At this point, I will show you two other things you can do on the YouTube app, but I will let you explore these options for yourself. And you can see that right there on the screen. You can see the extra options you have. Okay. Now that you know all the basic things you can do with this app, well, apparently now you do know what to do with them. Okay. If you have any additional questions about this app, you can feel free to leave me a question in the comments below. My only disappointment with this app is you can't see the cards. You remember I kept talking to you about those YouTube cards that would appear on the top? It'd be like on the top right of the video. Okay, well, you don't see those cards on the YouTube app. If you want to see those cards, you got to go to the smartphone, or you got to go to a laptop or desktop. You don't see them on the YouTube app on the television. I hope someday they fix that, but right now they haven't, so there you go. Anyway, I wanted to thank you very much for watching this presentation, And as I continue to upload videos here on my YouTube channel, I hope that you will once and for all and continue staying tuned. Woo! What did you guys think about that? Anyway, that's what I have for you tonight. Sometimes my camera doesn't shut off like it's supposed to. Anyway. So what am I going to have for you the next time? Well, the next time I'm going to show you how to operate a TracFone smartphone. You say, well, you've done that before. Well, yes, I have, but I have a newer TracFone smartphone. And I'm going to show you guys how that actually works. The next time, I'm also going to have some vocabulary for you guys. I want you guys to learn some vocabulary. If you want to discuss the Roman Empire and the siege at Jerusalem from the Josephus book, we might discuss that the next time too. I will also review some other people's videos. So that's coming up. And then after that, we're going to go right into new lessons, new studies, new everything. We're going to keep this YouTube channel going. I promise you that. All right. Well, I wanted to thank each and every one of you for sticking around and watching this video tonight. I appreciate all your feedback. And if Rob comes back, I'd love to hear from him. And also Jordan Long, I hope that that person comes back. I was sorry to see that Crazy Josh Cravey and Survival on a Budget Made Easy couldn't be here tonight. That's okay. Anyway, I want to thank each and every one of you. If you are not watching me live, that's fine. When will the YouTube TV thing be up on the air? It will be soon. That's all I can say. It will be soon. I can't do it tonight, but I have a mini vacation coming up in a couple of weeks. And when I do, I might be able to edit that stuff then. The Danica McKellar Math Doesn't Suck video should be up in a couple of days. In the meantime, if you guys have anything for me, please let me know. Tell me what's going on. I'd love to hear from you. And I will tell you more in a future video. I also wanted to let you know that Ubuntu had, I mentioned this the last time, I'm going to mention it again. Ubuntu has upgraded. And if you guys have not upgraded your Ubuntu, you need to, because it got some incredible new features and it looks really, really nice. So I hope you guys will do that. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. It finally got warm around here. I couldn't believe it. It went from solid ice cold to warm. So, as a matter of fact, that one day, it was like 2 days ago, it got really hot. I'm not talking this little, I'm talking hot. So, anyway. Thank you guys very much for watching me. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned.